New team, same ride. Here's your look at the Hasbro Ghostbusters Ecto 1 playsets. A new generation of Ghostbusters take to the streets for some serious ghost busting. Kids can imagine joining the Ghostbusters on their next ghost busting mission in the Ecto 1, from retro action figures to premium collectibles inspired by the Ghostbusters Afterlife movie. Before we get a closer look at the Ecto 1 playsets, I'd like to first thank the folks over at Hasbro that kindly provided this sample that we could have a look at in this review. I thought this would make for a fun comparison. I'm going to slide over the new Ghostbusters Ecto 1, and I thought it'd be fun to bring in the original, or not so original, this is the reissue, Kenner Real Ghostbusters Ecto 1. You can see about the size, they're roughly about the same to one another. Give or take about the same height, even though really the retro Kenner-inspired Ghostbusters Ecto 1, as you can see, has more of that higher lip that's on the back of it. Other than that, though, they're roughly, give or take, roughly about the same height or size to one another. Sadly, while I didn't get the chance yet to pick up the Ghostbusters Afterlife characters, the kids in the movie, we did recently look at these ones, though. These are the 1984 classic Ghostbusters, which technically could fit inside the vehicle as well. There's Peter, Egon, Winston, and Ray Stantz. We've done a review of these if you guys certainly would like to check those out. They're of the same size too, and appropriately scaled to the vehicle if you wanted to use those instead. Some very mild assembly is required to put together the Ecto 1 playsets, and luckily, you'll be happy to know as well, they include an instruction guide. The instruction guide, like I said, consists only of 2 sides to 1 sheet. And like I said, putting things together on Ecto 1 was super easy. It took me probably about 10 minutes, if anything. And then on the back, there's a place to show you where the stickers will all go. Sticker application is also something that's required, and I've already taken the liberty of adding all the stickers to the Ecto 1, although just between you and me, I think I may have put some of the stickers in the wrong place. I'm going to move over the drone for the second and just grab Ecto 1 here. Just on the side here, this little bit of reflection, looking again at the box later on, I think it was supposed to be further down here. Oops. But other than that, though, like I said, all the stickers have been applied. The Ecto 1 license plate on both the front and the back of the vehicle. The actual No Ghost logos, again on the back, the sides. Also applied the back sticker here, and also applied some stickers there on the top of the cannon too. And again, like the stickers were pretty straightforward, except for the white rims of the tires. I was surprised to find actually that you had to put these on the tires. And the front ones weren't so bad. You got full circles to do the job. The backside, however, though, I thought to myself, how would I possibly be able to get access to the full tire? Well, one of the stickers, well, 2 variations of this sticker here were actually halved. I've done as best of a job I think I could do. Basically just rotated the tire until I lined up an open space to put the one sticker half, and then rolled the tire again to line up and put the other sticker. I think this side fared a little bit better, I think, than, well, maybe this side was the better of the 2. This, by now, I think I'd perfected the art of being able to spin the tire and put the sticker in the right place. So like I said, there is a little bit of sticker application that's required. I'm going to hold on to this, make sure I don't drop it. The vehicle does come included with the Ghost Trap drone. Nice little representation of the Ghost Trap drone. I've yet to see Ghostbusters Afterlife. I'm super excited. Maybe even by the time that I post this video, I've already seen the movie. But it does have rolling tires, if I can actually just go and pick it up for a second. Maybe the drone itself is possessed, but it does have free rolling tires, so it rolls easily on its own, on its surface. One thing that's neat about it, though, is you can actually take the vehicle and spin this around. And located on the back, there's like a little lip in here that you can grab with your finger, and you just open up the door like this. And like what we've seen in the movie, at least from the trailer, the drone slides just inside here. And oh, also, sticker applied had to be also applied to the top of the drone, and also stickers here as well. But that slides just in place. There's a little bit of a guard that kind of holds the drone in place while you pop that into the inside of the car. And like in the movie, you can open up the back of the door and basically just deploy out the drone. I think that's really neat the way they've done that. The other thing that's cool about the car, I'm going to snap this back in first before we kind of resume the rest of this review. There's like a little lip just on the side and just on the side, and then that just have to push a little bit on the sides to get that completely in place. There we go. One neat thing about it as well is that one side of the car, I should say one side of the car, does open up. This side unfortunately doesn't. Which means if you want to get a person actually driving the car, you have to then do the next step involved, which is actually the other gimmick that the car has. It does have the gully door that opens up, and it drops all the way out. Actually, you can pull this out a little bit, and then this flaps open like this, like we've seen in the movie. From there, that's the only way to really gain access to the driver's seat. And then from there, you can take yourself, let's just take Ray's stance here. I'm going to remove his proton pack for a second. Just bend the figure, and we'll fit him inside. It's unfortunate, really, that they didn't give you a door, a functioning door on the one side, because really the only other option available is to sort of get, and you have to also get, when you're putting the figures inside. This would probably work a little bit better with the kids. They may be slightly smaller. You have to get it just past that screw. So you sort of have to get, I think also the original Ecto 1, from what I remember, also had similar problems. Maybe I shouldn't even be using such a tall figure like Ray stands, but the idea is that the figure is supposed to fit inside. Again, mileage may vary. It's going to have his foot sticking up for the time being. Almost got it. Do I have it? Now, see, that screw is just in the way of things. I wish, if anything, almost got it. That's not as good as I really had wanted it to be, but you should be able to get them just inside. There we go. I think I've almost got him. Almost got him. I just got to get his blasted foot around the steering wheel. And as you can see, you can get at least the larger size Ghostbusters, although I think that the car is a little bit better suited for the kids themselves. Anyways, though, we're going to close the door on the one side. I still wish, though, that the door could have been functioning on the other side of the car. And there's Ray's stance. I know he's not really best sitting inside of that. And then you can also do is take the top gunning cannon here, the top that actually sits on top of the rack on top of the car. And then this detaches and fits just to the hole on the side of the chair. Just like that. Then you can take yourself another Ghostbuster. I'm going to take maybe Peter Venkman here for this. And fold up the figure, and then on the back, remember he had the hole for the proton pack, but so happens to also be the same hole that fits on the back of the chair. So you can actually have him piloting, or not so piloting, but the side at least of the chair. That's neat. Now granted, this would look so much more effective if I actually had the kids at the time. First of all, I think the kid would sit a little bit better in the driver's seat, for example. But either way, you can easily use one of the classic 1984 Ghostbusters if you want to have them attached to the side chair here. The neat thing also about it, too, is that there is a firing missile. It isn't actually spring-loaded, mind you. When you are putting the missile in, it's actually more friction than anything else. And to fire that off, you shoot the back by pressing the back of the missile, not dropping the Ghostbuster in the process. You fire that off, and that fires off the missile. The thing about it, though, I'm sorry, I'm just going to take Ray out for the time being. His too large of a foot couldn't get actually underneath the steering wheel. Take him out for the time being. Unfortunately, though, when it comes to putting this back in, you can't simply just swing this in while still the cannon is attached to the side of the chair. So the thing you'll have to do first is to detach it. Then this folds in, and then from there you can swing this around. A nice little touch of detail also is the fact that they did sculpt a proton pack on the back of the chair. And again, that just folds in place. And it closes up the door. And then from there, you're going to go ahead and take the cannon and just attach it to the hole on the top of the rack of the car. There was also this place here that I thought really belonged to an accessory, and yet no other accessory is attached to it, or it comes included with the car. One last time to spin this around so you can see it from all the sides. It's a nice looking car, actually. We'll just, again, put this down here for the second. Anytime I get the opportunity to bring in the real Ghostbusters Ecto 1, I try to do that. And yeah, they're roughly going to be about the same size to one another. Of course, this one here, the Playset Ecto 1, has a little more movie-accurate proportions. This one is more heavily influenced by the cartoon, so it's a little bit wider. In fact, actually, let's spin this around so you can see it. Yeah, this one is notably a lot wider. This one's a little bit more compact, but again, like the colors and especially the grille on the front of the Ecto is a little bit more accurate in the movies based on this one here. But other than that, I mean, they're roughly both going to be the same length or so. One is just, like I said, a little bit wider. I may find myself actually trying to track down the kids, simply just because I want to be able to display. I'm going to move over this one for the time being. I'm going to bring in a couple of these for right now. Well, as you can see, I probably would have done things better, I think, maybe to grab, I think, Winston. Winston's just a little bit shorter than Ray stands. He probably would have benefited better by driving the front of the car. I might still, though, pick up the kids, because I would really like to be able to display the more cartoon-looking children from Ghostbusters Afterlife, along with the Ghostbusters Ecto 1 playset. Again, it's a nice functioning playset that at least does have functioning features, like that swing-out door that we saw in the trailer. Again, a big thank you, though, to the folks over at Hasbro that provided this sample of the Ecto 1 playset that we could have a look at in this review. Let's actually move the Ecto 1 out of the way here. And again, just spin this around. There are things, yes, I wish this car could have maybe done slightly different. One of which, I guess the main one really being, I wish that the door could have actually opened on the car. You can see as well. One feature actually I forgot to even really mention is it's got the little side mirrors there on the side, sculpted in there as well to the body of the car, as well as some additional assembly was required. I had to put the hoses in there, attaching to the bottom and attaching to the top, and also the ladder had to be installed as well, along with the back fins of the car. When it was all said and done, really, like I said, the build time for putting everything together was probably about 10 minutes, and that's 10 minutes as well, factoring in the sticker application. But I really like the results of it. We don't really have a lot of Ecto 1s from Ghostbusters Afterlife. This one's a lot cleaner looking of a car, mind you, than the one that we actually get in the movie, but it's a nice representation, and certainly one I think kids will have fun playing with. I knew I should have used Winston Zedmore to put in the driver's seat instead of Ray Stantz, although really looking at Winston Zedmore, who fits fine, by the way, in that driver's seat, he really isn't that much shorter than Ray Stantz. So I'm really asking myself the question, why was I struggling so much to get Ray in there? Maybe I was trying to rush too much. I should have been a little more patient putting him in, because actually all of the 4 Ghostbusters from the 1984 classic wave fits fine inside the seat as well. I mean, when you're looking at the Ecto 1 playset, even though it's really designed for a driver like Trevor, I mean, it's a pretty pristine looking Ecto 1, very different than what we see with Ghostbusters Afterlife. Really, if you wanted to, you could use this as the Ghostbusters ride from the 1984 film instead. This one has a couple of different play features to it, predominantly one of which is being the swing-out seat here, which currently I've got Ray Stantz attached to. The neat thing about it, though, is that you can take the proton packs off their back, and that located peg hole that's on their back, just attach that to the seat. They've molded a proton pack on the back of the seat, which is a nice touch, and you can attach that side cannon. Even though while putting the seat back into the Ecto 1, you're going to have to remove the cannon, there just isn't enough available space. Technically, even though it's a very roomy-looking vehicle, it only really accommodates 2 figures. I guess you could kind of just have them loosely sitting inside the car, but the moment you swing in that side seat, there really isn't going to be a lot of quarter space. I wish that the car could have had an openable door on the other side. It really does rely on only one side of the car to gain access to the vehicle. It makes it a little bit more difficult, as you saw in this review, to actually get a driver sitting inside that chair. It does require some assembly, as we certainly talked about in this review. Very minor assembly and some sticker application, which again, I did put on a couple of stickers wrong. At least those tubes that are on the top of the rack, they should actually have the reflective more further down, but this doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter at all. What does matter, though, is that this is available right now in retail stores and online. And a big thank you, though, to the folks over at Hasbro that provided this sample of the brand new Ghostbusters Afterlife Ecto 1 playset. Even though, again, it's a pretty shiny-looking Ecto 1, you could easily use it for your 1984 classic figures, which I'm going to be doing for the time being until eventually I pick up the kids from Afterlife like Trevor and Phoebe, which I think for the purpose of just having that swinging outdoor, I would rather display it personally with Phoebe and maybe Trevor driving instead of Winston Zedmore. Why did I struggle so much getting one of those figures inside the car? Either way, though, if you guys enjoyed this video, hit it with a like. If you're enjoying the content as well, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as turning on the bell notification so you get those friendly reminders of whenever new videos are going to be popping up. And just an FYI, a 411, friendly 411 sent your way by the person behind the camera. There is going to be a lot more Ghostbuster reviews coming your way in the not so distant future. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.